this is not how I want to live my life. I don't want to be 60 or 70 and look back and say I haven't really lived my life. So 1 year I was praying intensely, and it took me like about a year to actually decide that this is not the life I wanted to live. So I quit my job, and that first year, the first thing I did that year was to travel to Hajj. Any one of you have been to Hajj? Can you raise your hands who's been to Hajj? MashaAllah. Because I was really lost, right? And when I was in Hajj, I felt so insignificant. I felt like a piece of dust because everyone is just the same. And sometimes when you have a lot of success in your life, you forget who gave it to you. Right? Oh, I did this because I worked hard or because I was smart. So there's that pride, especially in me. I had that pride in my heart. But when I was there, I felt like a piece of dust. And I asked Allah, what am I going to say to Allah when I die? You think Allah will be impressed because I sold the most panty shampoo in the world? I don't think that would be even that important, right? So I remember doing tawaf, and I was there with my husband and my in-laws, and we were separated. And before I knew it, I found myself in front of Hajar al-Aswad. And if you've been to Hajj, you know how many millions people there, right? I didn't even dare to dream that I would be there in Hajar al-Aswad, but I was there. And then this guard was like, "Women, what are you waiting for? Go kiss the stone." I was just frozen. So subhanAllah, I kissed the stone maybe for a few seconds, but it felt like I have been transported to another world. And in those moments, I ask Allah to bless me with children, whom inshallah I will raise to become salihin. And I ask Allah for a purpose. Whatever it is, Allah, that you want me to do in this life, the reason why you created me, please show me what it is. I will do it. SubhanAllah, after I came back from Hajj, we moved to... actually, I did something fun also that year. I went to Paris to study art and fashion, right? So it was amazing because I used to have to do big presentation. There's a lot of things you need to do. But that year, or that summer, I was in Paris. I just studied art, and then my homework, my assignments was to go to the most fancy boutiques, haute couture, and I went to Yves Saint Laurent, Christian Lacroix, and all this, just to look at the fabrics and do a report. So that was really fun, and every day I would sit in a cafe eating croissant and cafe au lait and just enjoying life, right? Because I thought I would be the next Muslim designer. That was the dream. After that, I took a lesson in photography because I thought, maybe I want to be a photographer. And then I said, I'm not going to be Ansel Adam. I'm not going to do this. And then I started painting. I thought, painting seems fun. And then I said, I'm not going to be Van Gogh. I'm not going to do this, right? So it's just like you keep searching for that one thing, that one reason why Allah created you. And then I work in the masjid in Santa Clara, Silicon Valley.
That's when we became friends.
That's when Uzma and I met. We were part of the Mommy and Me. Actually, before that, I worked in the masjid, and subhanAllah, 2 months after I worked there, I got pregnant with my first child. This is my dua in Hajj, right? And the most amazing thing about this is that my son was born on our 10th wedding anniversary. SubhanAllah. And the significance of that time is that we had intended to adopt an orphan if Allah didn't give us a child. Right? And then, subhanAllah, my OB told me, now you need to take this pill, you need to, you're ready to be, so I cannot say, but we didn't, because I said, no, I don't want to regret if I only have one, and then, I will blame myself. So no precaution, and then my first son was 7 months, then I was expecting my second. I was not ready. I didn't even know how to handle one child yet. And then Allah gave me the second, right? My second son was 6 months. So Sanas was also 6 months at that time. I felt finally my life was complete. I was working in a masjid. I have 2 beautiful children. My parents were visiting, and that's when the tsunami hit. December 26, 2004. And my great-grandfather, whom I admire the most, he was a Hafiz Quran. He would spend his night, sleeping very little. He would do tahajjud and just memorizing Quran, right? And he came from an island that is closest to the epicenter of the tsunami, and about 80% of the population is completely gone. And I watched with horror my hometown shattered into a million pieces. And in that also I lost my uncle, I lost my cousins, and friends from childhood. So I was a new mother nursing my child, and I thought of 25,000 new orphans just in my area. And I think it's a combination of being a new mother, looking for that purpose, right? I couldn't sleep with my noises for 2 weeks. Maybe some nights I would sleep for an hour, and some nights maybe not even a minute. And you were nursing, right? It's just like, I felt like I was going to go insane, and I said I needed to do something. So I just turned to Allah, and I asked Allah, not why me, but I said, Allah, what is the purpose behind this, right? And Allah is so Kareem that tragedy now turned into one of the most beautiful things in my life. We started with one home in my hometown. My uncle donated the land, actually. My uncle, such beautiful soul, he had a house on that land, and he said, tear my house down and build on it an orphanage. So that was the first home. And now it's been 13 years. We have built 6 homes. The latest one was in Morocco. And that home is more beautiful than my own house. It was so beautiful that the government was so impressed that the king sent me a letter. And he sent the governors to come to the grand opening. And the governor came and said, please read this letter. It is my honor to present this letter to you. Please read it. So when I read the letter, it's like 10 cameramen, like TV station, radio station, were just zooming in. But it's something that I never expected. When you start something, you just have that intention, right? And to me, I said, if I could convince women to buy paint and shampoo, and if I'm willing to work that hard for something that is so beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no doubt in my mind that it will be successful, as long as my intention is clear, right? And I've seen miracles every day. It's been 13 years, there's not a single day that we didn't receive a donation from somewhere without asking. And people donated the land, right? Right after I came back from Morocco, we got land donated in Lahore in Pakistan. So who is here from Pakistan? Lahore, okay. So the member of the parliament, I don't even know how he looks like, this uncle. He got to me on the phone with me, and he said, Beti, my daughter, how much land do you want? I said, 10,000 square feet. And he said, I will give you 4 canals. 4 canals is about 20,000 square feet. I have a picture of the land. I have the Google coordinates. And I have about 50 people on the ground who's going to be part of GiveLight Lahore in Pakistan.
Tell how you got the land. That's an interesting story. Everyone knows about Uzma Khan.
Oh, okay. So after I came back from Morocco, there is a GiveLight lunch. See, I was blessed because all I do is show up like this. I didn't do any work. Uzma did all the work. I just come and speak and share my stories. So there are many of this, right? So after I came back from Pakistan, this dear sister of mine, her name is Natasha. She's a convert. And she has been baking for GiveLight. We do bake sales. We call it Global Bistro. See, I'm in marketing. I don't like to call it bake sale. Everybody does that. But when you call it Global Bistro and you bring bakers from all over the world and you present it in such a beautiful setting, right? People willing to pay $5 for eclair, for example, because it's part of the experience. So we do this bistro every year, and she's one of our bakers. She's Russian, so she goes, I wanted to do Russian lunch for GiveLight. Sure. I came to this lunch, and there's only one Russian there. She's the only Russian, because she's married to Pakistani. Okay? So in this lunch, I told the story about Morocco, and I also said, next project will be in Pakistan, because subhanAllah, we received a donation from one person one family for 200,000 US dollar. But it is for Pakistan, so I need to find land in Pakistan. So then the ladies goes, oh, you should write a letter to Imran Khan. I'm not a big fan of government because usually, and they were like, he's really good, he played cricket and he's honest, and okay, I said I'll write a letter to Imran Khan. But how do I get him the letter? Because if I send on the mail, it will go to one of his people and he will never see it. So this girl, her name is Sabah. Sabah said, I will talk to my father, who is a member of the parliament, to give the letter to Imran Khan. Okay. 2 days later, Sabah texted me and said, my father will not give the letter to Imran Khan. Instead, he wants to speak to you and he wants to give you the land. So that's the story of the land in Lahore. Yeah. And then uncle said, what do you want to do? When can you come to receive the land? Like, it's not for me. And I said, I need to form an NGO, but as you know, in Pakistan, it takes a long time. There's corruption, just like the same in any developing countries, right? And he said, no, I'm going to talk to my friend in the Supreme Court to see if they can help. So then 2 days later, I was on the phone with one of the lawyers from the Supreme Court, and he goes, I will file for you the paperwork, everything pro bono.
Wow.
So that's my story for Pakistan. And half of my team are from Pakistan. I told you earlier, I've been desified. I know all your food. I can say ye khana bahut acha. Chalo chalo mere betiye when I was with the girls. So alhamdulillah. This is just to show you that sometimes in life, all the time, right? This whole life is a test. So you alternate between shukr and sabr. Shukr and sabr. For me, I think my test is easier to recognize when it's difficult, because it's a test, right? But when you're having everything smoothly going for you, your health, your family, this is when you fail, at least for me, to say thank you, Allah. You forget this is everything in our lives, even our eyelashes, our eyebrows, our lung that is healthy, the air, the sky, and the birds, everything is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Uzma, for creating this opportunity. May Allah bless you for being here, for your intention. And inshallah, from this, it will lead to something even more beautiful, that your life can grow. Because if you think of the needs, 153 million orphans in the world. Can you even put that number in your head? I need 100 lifetimes to even touch maybe 10% of that. But I don't stop because it's overwhelming. Even if you change one life, right? In the Quran, Allah says, if you change one life, as if you have saved the entire humanity. And if you take one soul, as if you have killed the entire humanity. So I go back to that and I said, Allah will not ask me for everything, but what have I done with my time in this world? How have I used it? With my intellect, with my health, with my youth. So that motivates me. And when I see people like, in this gathering, I get inspired. And our children have grown, the one in Aceh, we have 7 children, graduated from college, and 3 have gotten married. And they get back, and they actually got scholarship. One boy got scholarship all the way to Al Azhar, by the way. Yeah. He graduated with honor from Usuluddin. So he is an expert in tafsir of Quran, and he's now a teacher in one of the big schools in Indonesia. And one of the girls, when I was there, Ramadan, not last Ramadan, Ramadan before that, she's mashallah, so well behaved, so smart. Whenever I come home, she has like this big binder of all the certificates that she's won and trophies, right? And when I was there, one day she disappeared. I said, where is Samha? Her name is Samha. She's been crying and bawling in her room for 2 hours because she got accepted to one of the best universities in science and technology on full scholarship.
Wow.
And she memorized 10 juz of the Quran. I'm not done with her achievement yet. She won